Welcome back to my weekly reading. I'm Debbie A. Anderson, and this week's reading is from Monday, October the 23rd through to Sunday, October the 29th, 2017. As always, I'm using the 4 decks that I've created, which is the Vibrational Energy Oracle deck, the Vibrational Earth Children deck, and then finishing off with a card pulled from the I Am Sacred, which is my latest deck, and the I Am Vibrational Affirmation deck. Sometimes when Spirit gives me direction for the coming week, it is so quick and concise, I feel like they're shouting in my ears. And sometimes it's almost like they drip feed me the information till I reach that aha moment. So let me share with you this week, because this was more of a drip feeding for me. And for some of us, we are what Spirit demons inspire us, but sometimes in a very unpeaceful way. What I mean by that is that we take on a spiritual role of a catalyst. Let me explain in a little bit more detail on that. A spiritual catalyst is where an awakening occurs within the receiver based on the words, deeds or actions of the transmitter. So that would be you or me. And sadly, it can activate like a bright flashing beacon the truth within that individual, which in turn can set into motion or trigger them in a defensive way. And of course, you as a communicator can feel the backlash, if you like, from that happening. I'm sure you've all experienced this at least once in your life, if not more. What we have to accept is that this vibrational change in their frequency activates a new truth, a new paradigm. And of course, this trigger can also be activated within us. So yes, this is a two-way street. Somebody can create something that starts up in us and vice versa. Everything in our life is based on our perspective, our viewpoint, our outlook, and what has been manifested for us within our shifts, changes, and learnings that we've experienced. So when a catalyst comes along and changes that standpoint, we can, as a human being, respond or react accordingly. It's a bit like the fight or flight syndrome. This week, if you're the catalyst for someone, don't take the fallout personally. In fact, if you want to do anything this week to keep in sync with your frequency, I would suggest putting on your gold. And I've shared this with you many times in earlier videos. If you don't remember, message me at the bottom of this video and I'll share it again. But it's keeping it active all week long, and don't let others push your buttons. So here are this week's 3 questions. How do I keep my perspective? Damn good question. How do I alleviate button pushing? And that could be button pushing, receiving as well. What are we all afraid of? So I use the Vibrational Energy Oracle deck for our adult side and the Vibrational Children for our inner child perspective. And we always start off, or I always start off with the blue deck, which is the Vibrational Energy Oracle deck. And oh, there's the first one. I'm just going to put it there. How do I keep my perspective? And I'm going to do these one at a time because I'm feeling that Spirit is doing it that way. How do I keep my perspective? And the card that bounced out and I almost lost it on the floor was go to the light. Okay. Oh, and there is the second and third. Spirit saying, come on, just get on with it. Okay, there's the second and third one. So let me just put these over here and then sort them into. So that would be the first one. Yeah, okay. Got it the right way. I wondered if it would actually make a difference. We'll do it the way we've always done it. How do I alleviate button pushing? Heal thyself. Heal thyself. What are we all so afraid of? Reprogram. Oh my gosh, are we afraid of reprogramming? I know I am. It's like, I thought I got this far and it was going fine, and now you want me to reprogram again? What? So now let's see if we're going to do this differently for the inner child using the purple deck, because as I say, it's all done. And just see, okay, there's the first card. Put that there. I want to do it differently, and there's the second and third card. There's the next 2 cards there. Let's just put those there, put these out of the way, turn them over, make sure that is in the way that I had them. Yes, All right. How do I keep my perspective? Be respectful. That's a good point, actually. That's a very, very good point. How do I alleviate button pushing? I see you. I see you. And finally, what are we all so afraid of? The new something. The new something. Yes, we can be afraid of that. This is the part where I tap into my higher self, my work with my guides, my angels, my helpers. There are books with all of the decks that I sell. So this is just me going in my inner self and seeing what comes through. How do I keep my perspective? Go to the light. This week is about standing strong in your belief and don't falter. You know what I mean? Don't give in on this. Don't feel to, be in that happy place or that place of compliance that you have to do that. Just stand strong. Don't let situations you have festering, don't let situations you have fester. Don't fester on them. Okay, if a situation comes up, deal with it, look at it, and then let it go. Because if not, what happens when we fester? It takes you into that dark place within your soul. And if you feel that happening, fill your soul with light and go and do something that lifts your vibration out of the gloomy place. It's about allowing yourself not to be sucked in this week. Don't get sucked in. It's not worth it. That's how you're going to keep your perspective. How do I keep my perspective? And our inner child says, be respectful. An opinion or perspective is just that of the individual, including me, including you. So if that trigger has been released, then let it be and be respectful. As we all know, when this happened to you, and I know for me, I was very hurt. It stung for a while. It truly did. And then the healing started to take place. So stay in that vibration, your space. Be respectful to you by honouring who you are and why you're in that moment. It's not about sorting out theirs. That's something they have to do. All you've done is trigger it. How do I alleviate button pushing? Heal myself. I think for me, this is the easiest thing that I would do is remember how I felt when something happened. When somebody pushed my buttons, I would be all angry and hurt, and why would they do that to me? But I got through it. I allowed that healing to happen within me. And that is what you can do. Let that person do their healing. Allow your healing to take part. And don't get caught up in the anxiety vibration again. Right? Take a deep breath and release it. Let it go, because you know it no longer serves you. And if you get caught up in the same vibration they're caught up in, all it does is make it like a... Okay, it doesn't help. How do I alleviate button pushing? And inner child says, I see you. When we encounter a situation, usually we see ourselves within it. Maybe it was a past experience or memory, but we see it because we've been there, done that, got the scars, if you like. This is your greatest gift this week. Seeing yourself in a button pushing situation that somebody has done to you and how you initially reacted. Because when I recall some of mine, they were not pretty. But here I am today. So something must have kicked in. Keep that close to your heart this week. And remember, we all have walked this pathway. And we no longer do so. But it took us a while. Okay, it just wasn't an overnight thing. So just stand back, as they say. What are we all so afraid of? And I thought this is funny because reprogram came up and I'm like, oh no, not again. We got to reprogram again. Basically within all of us there's a smidgen of fear of anything changing or letting go of what no longer serves us, because we think we've done it. But as we walk away from something, even now, there can still be that little bit of dread, that little bit of fear hanging within our vibrational heart. Haven't I already done this? Why am I doing it again? But with that, we also feel a release, a lightness. And even though we may feel we're not ready, or not again, we still go along with it. And that's what you need to do this week. Trust in love and be brave. Okay, be brave for you. What are you all so afraid of? Something new. New something. Well said. When something is new, it is just that it can be a little scary, worrisome, because right in that moment we only have a small version of the bigger picture. We only have a nanosecond glimpse, and although we know it is the right thing to do in our heart, in our gut, we struggle with it. That's our humanness, and that's okay. But if we could fast forward a month or two, or maybe a year or two, and see the ultimate newness being part of us in a great way, in a better way, we would race forward. We wouldn't stop. We'd go, see ya, I'm off. We'd embrace that fear. And as Nike says, embrace that fear and do it anyway. And that's what you're going to do this week. This week's quote, actually, I couldn't find the author for this, but I felt it was very apt. So if anybody does know the author, please let me know. Everybody has a hot button. Who's pushing yours? While you probably cannot control that person, you can control the way you react to them. So that's a good one. We all have a hot button. We know what it is, and we know how it can be triggered. So just step away from it. When you know it's happening, just go, okay, I know what's happening here. Just step away. Now let's see what our affirmation for this week is. And we will start off with the I Am Vibrational affirmation deck, and then the last one from the I Am Sacred orange deck first. And let's see what we're going to get. Let's see if we're going to get... Oh, there's a card. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. I am vibrational because my mind is filled with positive thoughts. And that's a big thing. When we step into our mindset, it's our choice of what we want. The vibration of positive thinking is more powerful than negativity. We know that. We just sometimes have to remind ourselves. And final from the, excuse me, the I Am Sacred deck. And let's see what our card number here is going to be and what the affirmation for this week is going to be from the I Am. That's the card. There she be. Okay. Oh, that's too funny. I'll share it. Okay, card number 1. I am sacred, transforming my vibration daily. Being vibrationally different is an honor, so embrace the blessing. So we've got card 1 from one deck and card 2 from the other deck. That is too funny. Anyway, finally, I want to wish you an inspirational week, embracing your true vibrational essence.